Hey guys, Kurt from Time Machine Transport. Just, oops, sorry. I got my phone balancing on my steering wheel. Um, I'm in Wyoming right now, taking a garbage compactor for waste management from Grays Lake, Illinois to Steamboat Springs, Colorado. So, anyways, I wanted to do a video on, um, oh, scruffy. On this trucking strike thing. Obviously, I'm a semi driver, and I have my own trucking authority. We have a couple trucks and some flatbed trailers. And if you watch my videos or our videos and you subscribe to the channel, you know I am. So I was watching JK Bug Out or listening as I was driving earlier today. I listened about 5 minutes, and he said that he didn't think that there was going to be a trucking strike, and I agree. I definitely agree. welcome to my welcome to my pet. Welcome. I'd shut the truck off because I know it gets a little loud if you idle it. So pretty cold here. Anyways, so the truckers had actually did a strike back in the 70s, I believe it was. You can Google it. I may have did a video on it many months ago. Anyways, the reason why they went on strike was because of high fuel prices, and it lasted for about a week or so, and they created some mayhem. Unfortunately, the drivers out here, not all of them, obviously, but a pretty good majority of them don't have a quarter of the backbone that the drivers did in the 70s and maybe in the 80s. I've had my own trucking authority now since 2014. Obviously, that's why I say hi, Kurt, or hi, guys, Kurt from Time Machine Transport, because that's the name of the company. So, and if you don't believe me, you can Google it. We're in Burlington, Wisconsin. That's where our shop is located. So the reason why I'm not going to strike. So I've heard a few different things out here at the truck stop, and also on mainstream media. And I pulled up a video on Fox, and the drivers out here today, see this right here? Can you see that? It's CB radio. A lot of drivers don't even have them now. And if they do, they don't even turn them on unless they're stuck in traffic and they're bitching about traffic or weather or whatever. So drivers love to bitch about everything. They bitch about getting fuel. They bitch about, waiting in the truck stop. They bitch about this. They bitch about the traffic. They're know-it-alls. They, like, even, my wife probably even wonders if I drive semi because I talk so much shit about dirtbag drivers. They're know-it-alls. They're mechanics and doctors and lawyers and psychiatrists and electricians. They know everything, but they don't know shit. So the reason why they won't strike is because, and there's been talk about this literally weekly at the truck stops, or on, like, I belong on. I don't really go on Facebook often, but I belong to a group on Facebook, Black Smoke Matters, which is kind of funny. Excuse me. But there's been talk on there, we could shut the country down. And it's very true. It's very true. If every driver or 50% of the drivers literally hung up their keys, you would stop America. They have shirts at, like, truck stops. I don't wear that kind of stuff, but if you bought it, we brought it, or something like that, whatever. But anyways, drivers don't have the communication skills, and they don't have the organization skills. Those are probably two of the most important parts of the recipe to have a good strike, because they don't talk to each other, and organization and communication is everything. And that's why I give my number out on my videos, 414-477-7845. That's my cell phone number. Again, 414-477-7845. My name is really Kurt Sabella. Live in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And these drivers out here talk. So there won't, if anything, you're going to have a lot of owner-operators, maybe shut down, but all the big companies, all the they call them company drivers, they have a company driver does okay. But if you told your company I'm going to be part of the strike, you're going to get stuck with abandoning a vehicle or a rig, and you're going to get fired, and then you're going to end up getting your own way back to the crib. So it would only happen if everybody got together, and that's not going to happen. And the amount of owner ops out here, it's too small to actually make a change or make a difference. So I've heard out here that it was because of fracking. I've heard also it's like a political statement. They're protesting the election, all this kind of stuff. I think that's kind of moot because the election's not over yet. So why would you jeopardize your financial stability for an election that's not 100% yet? So that doesn't make any sense. So I pulled up the video on Fox. But here, I guess I'll get into my theory on what I think is going to happen. But we'll go ahead and we'll watch the video on Fox, and then we'll get back into it. So let me pull up the video here, and we'll listen.
President-elect Joe Biden has insisted he will not ban fracking, but tens of thousands of America's truckers are banding together to protest Biden's potential policies after public statements like these.
No new fracking, no more drilling on federal lands. I'd gradually move away from fracking. I would just not do more fracking on federal lands.
Would you close down the
oil industry? I would transition from the oil industry, yes. The oil industry pollutes significantly.
Well, the movement is called Stop the Tires 2020, and at last check had close to 50,000 participants on Facebook. Joining us with more on the message they're hoping to send today, trucker and protest organizer Jeremy Raywalt. Good morning, sir. There appears to be a lot of passion behind your movement. So tell us what you're trying to accomplish today.
Good morning. And first off, before we get started, I want to thank all the veterans that are out there because it's Veterans Day. If it wasn't for them, none of us would be here right now.
That's right.
To answer your question, what do I cause to get started today? Today is just about getting the word out for all of us drivers so we can come together for the bigger movement, as we want to call it, on the 26th. That will be a 4-day event, the 26th, the 27th, 28th, and the 29th.
If you were in front of President-elect Joe Biden and Vice Presidential-elect Kamala Harris, what would you say to them?
I would like to ask presumed, can I use that word, presumed President-elect at this time, if I was in front of them, I would ask them, what can you promise myself, every driver, and every blue-collar worker in the United States of America today?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And, it's clear that you support President Trump. So can you tell us how your life has changed for the better over the last 4 years?
Over the last 4 years, I've seen in my driver wages, to be honest with you, probably increase a good 4 to 5% on my end. That's significant for me and my family, which is first.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's take a look at the potential impact, the potential economic impact of a fracking ban. That would include 7.5 million jobs lost by 2022, 7.1 trillion cumulative GDP lost by 2030. Now, look, you have heard Joe Biden change his tune, if you want to say that, over the course of the last few months, and saying now that they will not ban fracking. Do you believe him when he says that?
He's been a politician for 47 years. What can you believe?
Yeah. And I want to say you guys are protesting for a reason, because you want to kind of and correct me if I'm wrong, you want to walk off the job to show people what it would be like if there was an actual fracking ban to take place and the economic ramifications of that, right?
All right. First off, it is a protest by the all standards, but we like to call it a movement. Yeah, the economic ban, the repercussion it could have is bad. However, I think it's the only way that we can show America and all of us here that reside here what could possibly happen. Last time, 4 or 6 years ago, when we had Biden in a position of power, how much was our fuel prices? How much is they going to shut out the independent truck driver, the independent blue collar worker that's got to mow grass? All those gas prices are going to cripple everything. So why not show them what it's like to have none of us?
Yeah. Okay, Jeremy Rewalt, thank you for sharing your movement with us. We appreciate your time. All right.
Thank you.
So there were a few things that Jeremy said there. First off, they didn't really show much fracking stuff. They showed some guys drilling or whatever. I haul a lot of stuff for the oil fields. And we do fracking motors and stuff out of Colorado up to North Dakota and back. So there wasn't really a whole lot that just concentrated on the fracking part of it. And I think it's like Jeremy said, it's a movement. And I think they're trying to rally the troops in all aspects of trucking, not just fracking. And then that was the first thing that I noticed was it doesn't really say fracking. It says overall, and he mentioned fuel prices. Well, they had the strike back in the 70s, like I said, and they protested high fuel prices. And right now, fuel prices are very low, but I'm sure they will climb back up. Here, I'm sure if Biden gets elected or whatever. So that's interesting. But also, he mentioned that first and foremost, it's about him and his family. And that's what I said about the company driver. Company drivers, they do okay, depending on who you work for, how long you've been in the industry. If you're in a dry box, which is just the enclosed trailers, or you're in a reefer, which is a refrigerated unit, or you do flatbed, step decking, RGN, we have all flatbed, and we do oversize, with the blinking lights and the signs and everything. So we do that kind of stuff. So as far as, like I said, I didn't really see anything that was really basically, shining the light on fracking. It was kind of the industry as a whole. So it will never happen, first off. I mean, 50,000 drivers that they have on Facebook. I mean, if you want to be a Keystone King or a keyboard king, and you want to be out there typing away on Facebook, come on, man. Any of us can be on the keyboard, and saying we're going to do this, saying we're going to do that. Just like a lot of people are saying, I'm not going to take the vaccine. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. We won't even get into that on this video, but there's a lot of people out here that say, doers and sayers at the end of the day. I believe I'm a doer. I believe a lot of my friends and family are doers. My wife's definitely a doer. Hi, baby, I love you. Oh, and happy birthday to my mom. Happy birthday, Mom. I love you. And my baby girl, I love you. And my cousin Dan and Pastor Rick and my brother-in-law Tim, my brother Jason, all those guys. I love all you guys. So, therefore, I don't think they're just really talking about fracking. So let's get to. I really should have a channel that says, instead of Kurt Sabella, it really should say Kurt has a shit ton of theories. ... channel. Because at the end of the day, it's all speculation, and I have a lot of theories. So, but I think they're very plausible theories at the end of the day. I think, we've all heard of these food shortages, right? Everybody's talking about food shortages. And if you're not, you're not paying attention. You're blind. With all the fields that were plowed over and all the crops that couldn't be taken out of the ground because of this bullshit ass COVID, smoke screen or whatever, and they wouldn't let farmer or workers do this or that, so they had to plow a lot of the stuff into the ground. And then they had, last summer or last spring, they were showing all the filming of, them throwing out dead chickens and burying, literally hundreds, if not thousands of cattle into the ground because they couldn't process the meat. My question is on this: why would you? And then we'll get to my theory. But one of the things I was talking about, if you have so many jobs lost, why would you just kill off all the livestock and bury them? Wouldn't you know how many reefer you? Okay, actually, there's one right here. See that right there on the front of that truck? That's a refrigerator that basically cools the whole inside of that 53-foot trailer, and it can freeze it. That's how they haul all your refrigerated stuff. That's why it's called a refrigerated unit. Why would they have killed off all the animals and put them in the ground when they could have just went and mass produced a shit ton of refrigerated units and bought a bunch of, I'm talking about our government, and bought a bunch of used units. You can find them all day long on eBay and at these used trucking places, whatever the case is, or just go and confiscate them and say this is for national security, and kill the animal, and go ahead and I've never processed an animal, but I've watched a lot of videos on how to field process an animal. You just take the guts out, whatever, cut the esophagus and the anus. Why wouldn't they have just done that and immediately placed them all in the refrigerated units? And then when we were ready, and then you could have people building these things at factories, you could hire people to maintain them, and you could hire people to sit and watch them because they only have a 50-gallon tank on them for fuel because you need fuel to run the reefer unit. So why wouldn't they have just killed, gutted, take out the intestines and all that stuff, and put them in refrigerated units and freeze them? And then when we had the workforce, then go ahead and start, slowly but surely start processing them. That's, I don't know who the person was, but they said, if you control the food, you control the people. And obviously they want to control us. So that's my $64,000 question is, why did they waste all that protein, all that meat, so on and so on? It was an easy fix. And if my dumb ass could think about it, why? I'm sure our government did. So anyways, Kurt's theories. Kurt has a shit ton of theories, ... channel. So everybody's heard about the food shortages. They say they're real. They're coming. We have stocked up, and I hope you have as well. Are they? Because they're already, people are already caught in a lie. Oh, this is for fracking. Oh, no, it's not. It's for political reasons. No, it's for fracking. No, it's for political reasons. So they're back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now, is this what they call a PSYOP or predictive programming or whatever you want to call it, that at the end of the day, there really are food shortages that we're not aware of, and then they're going to blame this fake trucker strike to say, well, hey, listen, we don't have any food on the shelves because the truckers went on strike. Remember, it was on all the media channels. It was on social media. It was on mainstream media. And people were going, they started. I have never, ever, ever seen a strike advertised like this. So they're trying to put it in our minds that this strike is crucial. And it's going to happen, and it's going to be big. 50,000 people, that's nothing. I think there's 1 million truck drivers out here. I think there's probably way less now because there's so much drugs out here and accidents and everything, and guys and gals are losing their CDLs left and right. Knock on wood, I hope I never do. But anyways, so is there really a food shortage coming, and they need to blame the trucking strike because we're not going to have food on the shelves? That's my first theory. Very plausible. My second theory is, because of this, do they bring in the military to take over the trucking industry because of the quote-unquote trucking strike? And they blame that the military has to come in because the truckers went on strike for 4 days or 5 days, however long it is. And then the government comes in and they take over all the trucking for the food. I wouldn't have to worry about it because we're flatbed. And if you're oversized or RGM, whatever the case is, but if you're in a dry box or a reefer unit, like I just showed you, those people haul food. Does the military come in, take over the food part of the transportation industry, and now they can distribute the food to control you? Because if you look at it, if you had a bunch of subcontractors like I am, or an owner-operator as we're called, if you're an owner-operator, and say, for instance, you have 4, 5, 10, 15 rigs, and you have you're hauling for a lot of food places, those trucks could get lost somehow, i.e. end up in a warehouse somewhere and feed people like a black market, right? Like a black market at the end of the day. So now, if you have, say you have 200,000, we'll just say 100,000 owner-operators that haul food goods. Now you have 100,000 people you have to keep an eye on, and their shit's going to come up missing because the freight industry loses literally, look it up, billions and billions of dollars of freight every year. Every year, billions and billions of dollars of freight are lost and never to be found again. So therefore, let's say that there's a fake trucker strike. We'll call in the military. They will take over all the food hauling or distribution, and now we control the food. And that's what they need to do. Like I said, I don't know who the person was. I'll mention in another video who the person was. But they said, if you control the food, you control the person or the people. You control the food, you control the people. I.e. fake trucker strike. You bring in the military. They haul all the food. They put it at their warehouses in secured areas. Now you don't have to worry about rogue owner-operators going out and selling these trailers of food, or a black market that is like a resistance to the government that are going to take the food. Now you can't control the people because you got a black market. Just think about it, man. At the end of the day, you have to think about these things. This is, I personally think this is a way to blame the food shortages and or get the military involved into the food industry to control us. Anyways, I hope this video finds you well. Please, with lots of sugar on top. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Ciao.